And this is our lab environment. We are using one DC with the IP address of 192.168.0.20 and Windows Server 2019 installed on this machine. And the domain name we have configured a node 1, and node 1 has the IP address 192.168.0.30. We'll click on add roles and features. We will click on next and we'll select role based or feature based installation. We'll click on next. We'll click on next. We'll click on next and we'll select failover clustering. We'll click on add features, click on next, and we'll click on install. Till the time installation will get complete in node 1, we'll go to node 2 and install the same feature on node 2 as well. And now friends, we are on node 2 and we will install failover clustering role on this node. As click on add roles and features, we'll click on next, we'll select role based or feature based installation, we'll click on next, click on next, again click on next, and we'll select failover clustering, click on add features, click on next, click on install. So friends, as you can see, installation has started on node 2 as well. So for failover cluster, we will go to node 1. So friends, we are back on our node 1, and as you can see, it's saying a restart is pending. So we will restart node 1 server, and once it will restart, then we'll continue. Okay friends, so we are back on our node 1 and it has So before we proceed, let's show you iSCSI disk as well. So these both are our iSCSI disk. So we have initiated them on our node 1 and node 2 as well. So now we'll go back, we'll click on tools and we'll click on failover cluster manager. We will expand this. So this is our failover cluster manager. Now we have to click on validate configuration. We can do it by clicking over here, and we can also click here for validate configuration. So we'll start with the process. We'll click on validate configuration, and before you begin console, we'll click on next. So we have to validate a set of servers. We'll click on browse, advanced, click on find now. So as you can see, we have one DC, node 1, node 2 and storage. So we'll select node 1 and node 2 because we want to add these both nodes in our cluster. We'll click on OK and we'll click on OK. So it's verifying our servers, and as you can see, both the servers are selected. We'll click on next and we'll select run all tests, which is also recommended. We'll click on next. So as you can see, server to test node 1 captechpro.local, node 2 captechpro.local, and we'll click on next. So as you can see, it has started the validation test. Validation tests are running. As you can see, test is currently running. So we'll wait till the time test will get complete. So friends, as you can see, test has completed for the test you selected. So we'll click on create the cluster now using the validate nodes. We'll check the box and click on view report. We'll expand this. And now we can see our validation test. So you can read this, our validation test, and we'll close this. We'll click on finish. So when you will click finish, a create cluster wizard console will open. We'll click on next. We have to give a cluster name. Let us give the name cluster test, and we'll give the IP address 192.168.0.23. We'll click on next, and it's validating settings. Please wait. So as you can see, cluster name is cluster test, node 1 and node 2 both are added. Cluster registration DNS Active Directory domain services, IP address is 192.168.0.23. We'll click on next, and it's saying please wait while the cluster is configured. So we have successfully completed creating the cluster. We'll click on view reports. So as you can see, this is our report. We can see this. Now we'll click on close. We'll click on finish. Now we'll click on cluster test captechpro.local. We'll click on roles. Right now there are no roles. We'll click on nodes. So as you can see, node 1 and node 2 both are up. Now we'll click on storage, disk. So as you can see, cluster disk 1, disk witness in quorum, and cluster disk 2 is available for storage. We don't have any pool. We'll click on network. So as you can see, cluster network 1 status is up, cluster use, cluster and client, and cluster network 2 is also there. Now we'll click on roles. We'll click on configure roles. We'll click on next. So as you can see, there are many roles which you want to configure for high availability. In next video, we will go with file server and I will show you how to configure file server for high availability. So we have successfully installed and configured our cluster. So friend, if you like my video, do give a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more upcoming videos. Thanks for watching.